Hey guys, welcome to Crochet and Ballet. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Please do subscribe to our channel and like our videos. And Bonnie loves her little cover up that I made her, so please enjoy this tutorial, and I hope that it turns out looking great. Okay, let's get started making our granny square. To begin with, we're going to make a magic circle. And if you don't know how to do that, I have a video on how to do that, but go ahead and pull up a loop once you have your magic circle. We're going to chain one, then you're going to yarn over, go into your circle, and you're going to make a double crochet. Once you have your first double crochet, go ahead and yarn over, go back in there and make another double crochet. You're going to chain one and make two more double crochets. So there's one and two, and go ahead and chain one. Tighten up your circle if you need to a little bit, not all the way tight yet, but just a little bit. We're going to make two more double crochets. So there's one and two. I'm going to go ahead and chain one, another two double crochets, and then a chain one. So there we got one and two, and then we're going to make that chain, and we're going to do this until we have 16 total double crochets, and that's two double crochets with a chain space in the middle. So just keep doing two double crochets and then chain one until you have 16 total. Let's see, I think I'm almost finished here. We'll count one more time. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got one more. So go ahead and do two more double crochets to make one more little cluster. There's 1, 2, we're going to chain one, and you can go ahead and tighten up your magic circle. You just pull on that string to get it tight and close that hole there, and then we're just going to slip stitch to our very first double crochet. So all you gotta, it's going to be kind of down a little bit because I just chained one, but once you slip stitch into it, it'll pull that stitch up and it won't look like it's down below. So it's down there. Make sure you get in the right stitch. It's kind of hanging down there, and go ahead and just slip stitch to finish up round one. Here we are, we've finished round one, and this is what yours should look like. And so now we're going to get started on round number two. So what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch over to that first chain space. So you want to just slip stitch over there, and once you've made it over there to that chain space, we are going to we're going to chain up one, and then we're going to do two double crochets. So chain up one, yarn over, go into that chain space, one double crochet, and then do two double crochets, chain one, and we're going to go back into that same chain space and do two more. So there's one and two. So in that one chain space, you've got two double crochets, chain one, two double crochets. Then you're going to move on to your next chain space and do two double crochets, chain one, and do two more double crochets. So in each chain space all the way around here, we are going to do two double crochets, chain one, two double crochets, all in that same space. So we just have a couple more here. This is not take a super long time, so I'm just going to crochet along with you guys and not skip over to the next part yet. So you just keep going to the next space, two double crochets, one, there's two, chain one, and two more double crochets in that same space. Until we get all the way around this circle. One, there's the last one there, and let's go to the next chain space. we're going to have 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and 2 double crochets. There we go. Okay, now this, we got 1, 2, chain 1, and then we've got 1 and 2, and now we're going to want to let's see, we got 1 more chain space there, so we're going to do 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and 2. And now we are going to slip stitch into our first stitch there, which is kind of hanging down again because we just did the chain 1, but when we go into it, it's going to pull it up, so it's not going to look funny or like it goes down right there at all. So once you're done with round 2, it should look something like this. Okay, and that's it, round 2. Now let's get started on round 3. Alright, round 3, we are going to slip stitch into that very first chain space. Remember, some of them, there's not a chain space in between, so it's going to be every 4 double crochets there's a chain space. So you slip stitch over to that very first chain space, and we are going to chain 1, and we are going to do 7 double crochets in this same space. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we're going to just go ahead and yarn over. You don't need a chain space or anything, just yarn over, and we're going to go right into the next chain space. And so we'll go right in there, and we're going to make 7 more double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and go right into that next chain space and just do 7 more. Now I'm going to pause the video here, and I will meet up with you at the end of this round. So just keep doing 7 double crochets into each chain space all the way around, and I'll meet you up at the end of this row. Okay, here we are. I've got 1 more cluster left to do. We're going to, 1 last chain space here. We're going to go 7 in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we are going to slip stitch to the beginning double crochet, the first of this round. So we are done with round 3 now, so we're just going to close it up, and we will be ready to start round 4. So remember that it's going to be hanging down just a little bit, but when we slip stitch into there, it will pull that stitch up nicely, and it won't look uneven at all. It will look just like the other stitches. So go ahead and slip stitch, slip stitch right there, and then this is the end of round 3, and yours should look something like this at the end of round 3. So let's get started now with round 4. Here we are on round 4, and what we're going to do is we're going to make our first corner to make it look more square. We're going to chain up 2, yarn over twice. We're going to make a treble crochet in that space in between those 2 fans where we just came out of. So this is going to be the second part of the first corner. We're just going to make part of this corner. So yarn over twice, go back in, come up and do another treble crochet. Okay, so we're going to go right in there, and then we're going to go across 2 fans. We're going to make 14 double crochets. There's 7 across each fan, and we're going to do 14 total down the side here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that got across the first fan. Okay, so that'll start making it be more square instead of a circle, since we're making a granny square. And so now we're going to do, we got the first corner there across the first fan, and now we're going to do across the second one. So we already have 7, so here's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And now in this space, next space in between the fans there, we're going to make a corner. So we're going to do 2 treble crochets, which we're going to yarn over twice, go in and pull up a loop. So there's our loop. You yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go back in and do, in that same space, we're going to do 2 more treble crochets. So there's 1 more treble crochet, and here's the second one. And that is going to make our first complete corner. Okay, so then you're going to go back across here and you're going to make a total of 14 double crochets as you go across 2 of the fans to make it to the next corner. You're going to go across the first 2 fans all with double crochets, and we're going to do 2 more treble crochets into the next corner. So we are almost there, so I'm just going to keep going because I want to show you guys another corner just in case you need to see another corner done with our treble crochets. So we're just going to keep double crocheting across these guys, and treble crochet is nothing crazy. It's just like a double crochet, just one, pull it through 2, yarn over 1 more time and pull it through 2 1 more time. So nothing too crazy or anything like that. So we're going to make it over here to this next space. Okay, so we made it across those. There's the corner, across 2 of the fans, and then the next space is where we're going to do our next corner right in there. So we're going to do 2 treble crochets. So yarn over twice, go in, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2, and do it 1 more time there. Then you're going to chain 1 and 2 more treble crochets in that same space. I am going to finish up this corner with you guys, and then I'm going to go ahead and let you guys finish the rest of this round, and I will meet you back at the end. Just remember, in the corners, and we'll do the last corner together, but go ahead and do the rest of your double crochets, and I will meet you back at the last corner. Okay guys, here we are at the last corner. So we're going to need, we only did the first 2 treble crochets, so we're going to need to finish up this corner by putting in 2 more treble crochets. So there's our first one, here's our second one, and then we're just going to need to chain 1 and slip stitch to the first treble crochet that we made for this round, and then that is going to complete our 4th round. So this is what it should look like. It's starting to look more like a square instead of a circle, and that's exactly what you want. And I will meet you, well, I guess I'm not going to meet you. We're going to go ahead and start on round 5. Alright, round 5, we are going to chain up 1, and we're going to double crochet in that same stitch, which should be the first stitch after the corner. We're not starting in the corner this time, we're starting right after it. So we're going to double crochet there, and we are going to double crochet across this whole side until we get to the other corner. So just 1 double crochet in every single stitch until we get to the next corner. So you guys go ahead and do that, and I will meet you up at the first corner. Okay, here we are. I am now at the first corner. It's right there. As you can see, the space is how you know that you're there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we are going to chain 1, and we are going to do 3 more double crochets in that same space, in that same corner space, and that's going to help us turn the corner. So 3 more double crochets here, and then you are just going to continue double crocheting across the whole side there until you get to the next corner. So just continue with your double crochets all the way across to the next corner. I'm going to show you the corner again, and then we will continue from there. Okay, here we are at our next corner, and we are just going to, again, there's the space so you know that you are in the corner, and we're just going to do 3 double crochets here. 1, here's the second one, and the third, and then we're going to do 1 chain, and we're going to do 3 more in that exact same space. Remember, we're making the corner, so we want it to turn well. So here's the last one, and then we are going to just crochet all along down that next side, do the other corner with 3 crochets, chain 1, 3, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and that will get us then straight back down the last side to the last corner. So I'm going to meet you up at the end of this row. Just continue doing your double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, here we are. This is the last corner that I need to be making right there, so I'm going to go ahead and make this last corner. There's 1 double crochets, 2 double crochets, and 3, and then we are going to chain 1 and do 3 more in that exact same space, and we will be right back to our very first double crochet of this round. And all we're going to do is just slip stitch into that first double crochet right there, slip stitch right in there, and then this is what it should look like. And it still looks a little bit rounded, but you will not be able to tell that once we get it all sewn together, and it's all sewn together. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to want to make 8 total of these squares. So once you get 8 total granny squares made just like this, come back and I'm going to show you how to put them all together. So you need 8 total to make our little swimsuit cover up, and then we're going to I'm going to show you how to line them up and sew them together. So go ahead and make your 8 and then come right back here. Okay guys, so now that you have all 8 of your granny squares made, I want you to take 5 of them and line them up exactly like this picture, because what this is going to be the shape of the front of how you're going to sew them together. So the 2 top granny squares are going to be like where the straps will come out of. The middle one is going to be like down towards the stomach, and then the 2 on the ends are the side pieces, so those will actually kind of wrap around to also be on the back. So you're going to sew these exactly like this. Where they're touching there is where you're going to be sewing, and this will just get you the front, and then I'll show you how to flip them over and line up the back. So as soon as you get all 8 pieces, get 5 of them, line them up just like this, so you know exactly what you're sewing to what, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to sew them together as well. But this will give you a good idea so you don't get confused on which side to sew where. Have a space, lay them out, and get ready to go. Now I use blue to sew mine together, so when you're done with the sewing part, it will be sewn together, see, exactly like this. So everywhere that the blue line is where I have sewn those squares together, and that's exactly what you're going to do. Right now we're going to get into how I did that, and I just single crocheted them together, but I'm going to go over down inside exactly how you do that so you guys will be ready for it. Okay, so for the video purposes, I made a second square in a different color, so it would be a little bit easier for you to see how and where I'm sewing them together. So I made it a little bit different color, so let's go ahead and get started on sewing these guys together. So what you're going to do is you're just going to line them up, get corner to corner. They should be exactly the same. So you're just going to get the corner there where you have the chain 1, and you're going to line that up, and that's where you're going to attach your yarn. I just get my hook and pull that yarn through, and then what I like to do is just tie a knot, and then I'm going to sew in my yarn. So you could either sew it in, or you can just leave it, and if that's too difficult, it might be, I don't sew this one in so that you can see a little better what I'm doing. But so what you're going to do is you go in that same corner space, pull up yarn and chain 1. Then we're going to be single crocheting, so you just go right back in that corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through to make a single crochet. Then you're going to go through the very next space there and through the back piece. So you have to make sure that you get through both squares. You're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2, and that is how you single crochet these two squares together. So you just go, make sure that your stitches are lined up, and you're just going to go across the whole side of the square that you need to be sewing together this way, and you've just got it through one side and then through the next, and you can keep making sure that they line up if you need to. It should be the same amount of stitches in between each corner, and you just go under both of those V stitches there, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull it through, and that is going to get you sewing all of these together. And that's exactly how I did the one that I made for my daughter. So you just continue doing that all the way down until you get to the corner space, and then you need to stop right there because it's just one line, and then you need to go back to how you have them laid out, see which 2 sides you need to sew together next, and just continue doing that. Okay, here I am on mine, and I'm back to the corner, so I'm just going to do one more single crochet into that corner there, and now this is what it should look like. I've sewn those 2 together, and as you can see on that one side, you can see the single crochet seam, and then on if you flip it over on the other side, it's pretty much invisible, but for mine, I like the outside to be the visible part. I like to see that kind of outline of it. So as you can see on this one that I've already got done, you can see the blue is where all of the single crochet was done, and I think that looks really nice. Okay, once you have the front all sewn together, how you need it to be exactly like the other diagram, you're going to flip it over, make those corner pieces bend in half exactly like this, and line up your remaining 3 granny squares directly on the back of your front pieces. And this is exactly how you are going to sew these together. So the sides will kind of curve around, sew down the back, and then you go back up for that middle piece, down for the middle piece, and to the other side go back up. So this is exactly what it looks like on the back when you've turned it over, laid your other 3 granny squares directly coinciding with the front, and turn those side pieces around, and this is exactly what it should look like when you sew these side pieces together. And then so get all of that done, and you will have it completely, I'm not sewn together. You can sew it together if you want to. I like to single crochet, so let's get to go. That's how you do the back as well. And so now let's get on to the next step. So now what I'm going to show you how to do is how to make across the bottom. You'll need to make these little spaces so that you can tie your tassels and your fringe or whatever onto the bottom. So get where the bottom, make sure you sew these on the correct places, find where your bottom is going to be, and you should know that from how the diagram is all laid out, okay? So you're going to find where you are across the bottom, and what you're going to do is you're going to get your yarn and attach it. Let's see, I've got a tangle mess going on right here. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so we're going to go across, and that's the bottom. So make sure you're on across the bottom for the fringe, and you're going to go all the way around the whole thing with this. So we're going to attach the yarn with a slip stitch, chain 4 for the first one, and go into the third chain from the hook and make a single crochet. We're going to chain 3, 2, and 3, go into the third space from the hook, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go in there and make a single crochet, chain, and that's making those little spaces. Okay, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, go into, count 3 stitches away from the hook, go in and make a single crochet. You're going to do this all the way around the whole bottom of your project, and it's going to make these chain spaces, and we're going to attach the tassels that way onto those little chain spaces, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So go ahead and do this. Chain 3, go into the third space from the hook all the way around front and back of your piece. Okay, once you have all of those completed across the bottom of your piece, you're going to have all of these spaces that you're going to tie your tassel. You can tassel or fringe or whatever. So I cut a few strands, and I did them double the length that I wanted them to be. And then what you do is you fold them in half. So you put the ends all together and you fold it in half, find that halfway point, and all you're going to do is stick it up through the chain spaces. Let's see. And then grab it and pull it through that loop. And you're just going to pull it tight. And that is what you're going to do in each of those spaces all the way around your garment. And so here I have a couple left to do on the one that I made for my daughter. So I've got, I think, 3 or 4 left here. So I'm just going to show you also on here. I'm just going to push that through, pull up that little loop, reach in with my fingers and pull it through and tighten it up. And again, I just made them double the length that I wanted them to be, folded them in half, and found that midpoint. And once you have the midpoint, you just push it up through the chain spaces that you've made, grab the tassel, and pull it through. I definitely would recommend making them, if you're not exactly for sure, make them longer, because you can always cut them off if you'd rather them be shorter, but you definitely cannot make them longer. And it's a lot of tassels to put on if you think they're too short. So do a little long, if anything. And so you just put those through. I've almost got this all the way done. And just tighten that up. And that's exactly how you do it. And you should be super excited, and congratulations on finishing this. This does not take a super long time, and it's a really pretty little swimsuit cover up, or also my daughter can wear it over her ballet clothes when she goes to dance. And that is my last one, and the only thing left to do on this is actually the straps. So I'm going to show you how to do the straps right now, and then after that you'll be completely done. So the straps are very, very easy. You're just going to go from like the top corner to the back corner on both sides. So what I did is I just attached my yarn at the top, one of the top corners here. Let's see. And so what I did is I chained one, and so I did want to show you guys that I did go across the top and make a row of single crochets across, just to kind of outline it in that color, because I thought that it looked nicer. So you guys can do that or not, either way is fine. I went ahead and made a row of single crochets here in these corners just to show you how I did the corners to attach the straps. So what you're going to want to do is find the center on these, and we're going to make find the center from the corner of the top strap, and you're going to go 2 over, and you're going to make, let's see, let's get a closer look here. So at the corner, you're going to go up, you're going to find which one is in the middle. So on mine, it looks like it's right there. And we're going to go 2 over from there. 1, I think that one is in the middle. So yeah, that one right there. And we're going to go 2 over, and we're going to attach the yarn right there. And I like to attach my yarn by making a knot, and then I just kind of sew in the ends. You guys can do that however you want to, but I just do this right here, and I go in, pull up another loop. We're going to chain 1, yarn over, go back into that same stitch, because that's going to be where our first stitch is going to go, and we're just going to pull through all 3 loops. We're going to make a half double crochet, and we're going to half double crochet in 5 total stitches across, so 4 more after that first one. So that's the middle stitch and 2 on each side. So I just like to crochet that end in right there, and you can go ahead and trim that off now, or trim it off later, or if it's long enough you can sew it in if you prefer. I just like to go ahead and trim that off right there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work. So you've made 5 half double crochets across, and then let's see here, we're going to chain up 1, turn your work, and we're going to do 5 just again go in that same stitch, half double crochet. I'm sorry, we're going to do the second row of double crochets, not half double crochets. So half double crochets on the first row, and then we're doing double crochets, 5 all the way across. So you have first row, half double crochets, second row and on are going to be double crochet. So then you chain 1, turn it around, and you're going to do just the exact same thing, another row of double crochets, and you're going to do this until you have 11 rows total. And so keep doing 5 double crochets back and forth, and once you have 11 rows total, I'm going to meet you back right here. Okay, here we are back. I have done my 11 rows. I've got, let's see, there's 1, the half double crochet row, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we've got 11 rows total, the 1 half double crochet, and then 10 double crochet rows. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just chain 1, and then we're going to crochet it to the back of your garment. So you've got it's the front, and then we're going to do it onto the back corner. So you're just going to go into your first stitch and find the second stitch over from the middle on the back corner, and you're going to go through that stitch as well, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. We're just going to single crochet it there. So you go in that one and the next one, and you go into the next corresponding one on the back of the garment, and you're just going to single crochet until you get all 5 stitches crocheted to the back. So we've got 2 more. There's 1, and here's the last one. And then what you can do is you can just cut your yarn, pull it through one more time, and pull that tight, and you can sew that in. And you can sew in any other ends that need to be sewn in now as well. You just need to get your yarn needle and put the thread through that and you're just going to sew it into your garment to make it secure. So you're just going to go back and forth a few times, and whatever you feel like makes it feel like it's not going to come apart or anything like that. So you just go back and forth, and then you can just trim that end off, and you've made your straps. And then you just make one exactly like that on the other side. You have both straps done, and you should be completely done now with your garment. And you cover up, and so I can show you the straps on the one that I made for Bonnie. And obviously if you're doing it for someone bigger, that can be the inside where you see that little seam, and you just turn it around on the outside, flip it around there, and then you've got both sides would be the same there. I flipped it around, so now that little seam is on the inside, and the straps look great. And you guys are done. Congratulations. I really appreciate you watching this tutorial. Please do like our videos and subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it, especially if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.